How often are you competing in drift? Are there drifting competitions that you're competing in now?
Yeah, so I do Formula Drift,
Yeah.
and that's I'm on the Prospect. So Formula Drift have Pro and Prospect. Prospect is kind of like when you win your license, you move up to that rank, and it's 4 races a year for the season, which is Atlanta, New Jersey, St. Louis, and Utah. But in between, there's other open competitions that we do in between, since obviously it's pretty short for Formula Drift. And whenever we go on the road, like the first event is in Atlanta, we have a rig that basically loaded up. It's like our shop on wheels. And once we leave to Atlanta, we don't come back. It's just any fixes, any changes, anything, we do it on the road. So we try to do every other competition that's in between the Formula Drift rounds.
And what kind of car are you driving when you're doing the drift races?
So 6.6 Corvettes. It's Corvettes basically from 2005 to 2013.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my personal chassis that I use. But the people that we compete against, it's an open. Anybody can drift basically anything that they want.
Really? So you're in a vet compared to what are some of the other cars?
You could see a Nissan S15. You could see a BMW E36, E46, newer style BMWs too. There's a guy that competes on Viper. There's a Ferrari.
Viper, yeah.
It's very broad. Like you can drift essentially any rear-wheel drive car.
What are the modifications that you're putting into the vet?
So the Corvette, if you were to do something at a starting level that you don't really have, you're not competing or anything, all you got to do is an angle kit. It's essentially something that allows the wheels to turn more than normal.
Okay.
A Corvette stock, when you turn it, just, it's impossible to drift a stock Corvette. But just adding that modification, it already gives you, a 400 plus horsepower drift car essentially. So it's a very capable starting car, and it's the reason why I started on it. And also because I've been racing them for quite some time, so I knew how to work on them, and it was easier for me to get into that chassis.
Sure. And then what's the next level? Because that's the beginner, right? You're gonna modify the wheels. Then what's the next level to really get, and again, listen, any of the kids that are watching this at home, right? Talk to a professional, right? But before you start modifying your
that's
car.
Another thing that moved me to the drifting community. It's so different from racing to drifting when you're at a track, and how nice and friendly the drifting community is. Like anybody that comes in new, if you talk to anybody, you will make friends on an instant. They'll tell you what to do or not to do, and they'll try to help you as much as possible. So much so that during competitions, if anybody breaks something, it is the common thing to do to, like, if you have the extra part, you give it to them, even if you're competing against them.
Sure, that's awesome.
So that sportsmanship is unlike any motorsports that I've ever seen. Like, it doesn't happen. If the guy that you're going up against breaks in a drag race, it's like, too bad. I'm getting this win.
Yeah.
But in drifting, it's not like that. It's very known of, I want to beat you fair and square, not just because your car broke. Like, let's make it happen so, it's a better show. But I went off topic.
No. That was exactly what I was saying. But like, if you're going to increase, let's say you're going to take it up instead
level.
Of the
So our Formula Drift Corvette, compared to, like, we have a Corvette that's for demo events. That's not necessarily for competition. It's more for ride-alongs and just shows that are not necessarily competition. So the Pro Corvette is basically the only thing that's stock there from a normal Corvette is the chassis. As in doors, transmission, engine, rear differential, suspension. Everything is modified or changed. A radiator that normally it's in the front in the Corvette, we move it to the rear to have more access to change things in the front of the car. It's built on purpose for anything that fails can be easily replaced in 5 minutes. Obviously, that goes to an extent. You're not really going to swap an engine in 5 minutes. You're not going to swap a transmission. But during competitions, we have these 5-minute calls that if something were to break on your car during competition, you get one timeout, like one 5-minute call. And so we build a car around that in order to, if something were to happen, we can easily replace it in 5 minutes or the easiest amount of time possible. You also have time in between races, so if something were to it starts going bad, we can change it before the next battle, because that's how it is. It's kind of like a tennis tournament. You battle each other out into it's a top 32, so 32 drivers battle each other. Then there's a top 16, top 8, top 4, until then the final 2.
Really? It's just one. Wait. So the last race is 1-on-1?
It's always 1-on-1.
Oh my God. So it's always 1-on-1?
It's always 1-on-1. Yeah. So Formula Drift, essentially, you battle each other out. So you either lead first and then follow second, or you follow first and then lead.
Is that based on ranking, or like it's like a draw, like a?
So back in the day, it used to be as in 2 years ago, it used to be a qualifying way of doing it. So eventually you will go and do your best lap, and the judges would judge you on how fast, angle, and how close you were getting to the zone. You essentially have outer zones and inner clips that you have to put the car on them, and the person that does it the best, gets the highest points. So you start essentially first, second, third, fourth. And the whole thing about that was like, if you get a high point on your qualifying, you'll be ranked first. So the person that's ranked first goes to the person that's ranked 32, so the last one. So essentially, if you do the best, you go against whoever did the worst.
Really?
So that's kind of like the incentive for doing it that way, that you want to be high up. But nowadays, it's all about rankings on TV, right? So based on what fans were saying when they were watching the competition, was like, qualifying is cool, but it gets repetitive. It's just one car going at a time. So they made this new thing for last year. It's called a seating bracket. So essentially, you don't do the qualifying anymore. You start based on your last competition, how you did. Sure. And if you're starting new, you're kind of start last. So if you beat somebody, you move up. So now qualifying is essentially you go against each other. It's usually 40 drivers, more or less. So you're fighting for those top 32 spots. So seating bracket is essentially you do another comp before the main comp, kind of knocking each other out. So essentially, is if you are on the seating bracket and you knock one guy out, you're already in for the main competition.
Yeah, I'm picturing tennis, like you said, if it's 1-on-1 and like each person is whoever wins, you go to the next round and you play the person who won that prior round, then you keep going. Yeah. So
seating bracket essentially is a small tournament before the main tournament to see who gets knocked out, essentially.
How many times are we talking to go around the lap for each time you're racing?
So whenever you go battle somebody 1-on-1, you do 2 laps, essentially. Your leading lap and your follow lap.
Oh, you each have to do
each have to do 1 lead and 1 follow.
Got it.
Yeah. So
how long does that race last?
Depends on the track. There's some, it'll be from 20 seconds to 40 seconds per lap. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's pretty fast.
Wow. I'm like picturing, because I haven't watched much drifting. You know what I mean? You're picturing a race where it's like the Indy 500. They got to drive around 500 times.
Yeah.
But this is more like hockey, where it's like, listen, you got this. You got 80 seconds, right? You have a minute and a half to just dominate as fast as you can, and it's over.
Yeah. On average, it's actually like 30 seconds, really.
Oh my God, man, that's crazy.
It was the biggest or the hardest thing for me to adapt, coming from a racing sport to drifting, because on racing, you do stints of 30 minutes. That's a 30-minute sprint. So you're in the car, you do your first kind of like getting situated lap, and then on your second lap they wave the green flag and you go. But you're already sitting in the car, you're warmed up, you scruff the tires, you're already one on the car.
Yeah.
Drifting, you've been sitting for 2-3 hours, and then you gotta get on the car, go. You do have a burnout box, very small, probably. You kind of do like figure eights on it to warm up the front and the rear tires. So you get a little situated. You get 24 seconds on that burnout box, right? So, but it's mainly to warm up the tire. Because if you don't warm them up, then you don't have the same feeling when you're actually drifting. So you're 3 hours just sitting, not doing anything or watching, and then you gotta go for your run, get those 24 seconds in the car to warm up the tires, and then do the best lap that you can do, right away.
30 to 60
in 30 seconds. Yeah. So, and the thing about this is you go to initiate as fast as possible because you're trying to get away from the guy that's following you. Or when you're following, you gotta be as close as possible to the guy that's leading you. So it's like it was the craziest thing for me to be so cold and do 100 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, throw the car sideways and just put it in the pockets that they want you to be at.
Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds stressful, man.
It was very stressful at the beginning. Yeah, it was. The butterfly, the stomach butterflies, whenever I had a race, they would go away after like the first lap.
Yeah.
Here, it's kind of like at the beginning, they will never go away, because you're just like, you do this run and then you got to follow. And if you mess up, like that's basically it. So after hundreds of laps, of battles, that's when eventually I'm more relaxed and I can.
You're locked in. You're dialed in.
I know exactly like how to go and do our best.
We're gonna play B-roll because during this conversation, so everyone can watch what's happening as we're talking about this. You know what I mean? I want to see we got to get some imaging, but you're going 0 to what mile per hour right when you start off, and then how fast are you going in this drift?
So it depends on every track. It's different. The fastest track that we drive is in Utah. And you probably initiate about maybe shy of 100 miles an hour. They switched it from previous years. A couple of years ago, it was actually people were initiating at like 120. They made it a little bit shorter just because it makes for a better show. Yeah. Everything in drifting is to give the best show for the fans. Yeah. So if you're pulling away and that you're drifting and the car behind is staying far back, it doesn't give for a good show. Yeah, yeah. So essentially they want the cars to be side by side, hitting each other. That way. So they kind of made it a little bit slower on the run up because of this. You want them obviously the higher speed, the harder it is to be able to get side by side. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Utah is one of the fastest. I think the last corner or GPS was saying 72 miles an hour. Yeah. On drift. So the run up is usually pretty fast, but once you start drifting, it tends to be the horsepower and the grip of the tires that you're running.
Dude, I can't even think of that, man. You're doing 70 to 100 miles an hour, and your back is skidding out. What's the adrenaline like when you're in that mode? When you're full on noise? What's that feel like?
I mean, at first it was huge. You come out shaking, but that goes out. It kind of falls off after a while, and it has to because. If not, you won't be able to control the car. Obviously, if you're having all these feelings mixed up while you're going. Yeah, yeah. Now, if you watch the in-car, basically with every driver, we're all very relaxed and just trying to do the best possible to just stay in the zones or following the guy in front of you. When you're in front, it looks way more relaxed because you're already predicting what the car's gonna do and you kind of know and follow the line. When you're following, you see more of adjusting because you're trying to mimic whatever the guy in front of you is doing.
And you want to pass them, right? I mean, the goal is to get past them.
No, you actually don't. You don't. You only allow to pass them if there's an inner clip and they're off of it. Got it. So you can pass a car on the inner clip that automatically gives you the win. But it's something the car in front of the guy definitely messed up.
Yeah, it's rare.
They have to be on that inner clip. So it's extremely rare. And it's also risky because if the guy is actually in the inner clip, you don't have a way of passing them. So if you hit them, it's on you and you basically lose. Yeah. So yeah, there's no passing. There's just getting really close and mimic exactly what they're doing in front of you.
What about as far as gear shifting? Are we talking about a manual with a clutch? Or are we talking about electronic? What's it look like now?
So manual with a clutch. They all have clutches. It's one of the ways of driving the car. If you are off clutch, you're basically going faster. You're getting closer to them. If you put the clutch in, it allows the car to kind of slide in. So you're constantly accelerating, clutch, braking, left foot braking sometimes as well. And they're 4-speed dock boxes. So it's basically a race transmission that only has 4 speeds. And with when it's called a dock box, it's like the gears are straight. Usually you get the whine, that whine of straight cut gears. Normal cars don't use that, obviously, because you don't want to have that annoying noise, in your street car. So they make the normal transmission gears are like helical. They're like sideways, just to not have that noise. But these transmissions are awesome because you can basically take them apart and rebuild them, fairly easy and fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal car transmission, it's you take one apart and it's like, good luck putting it together.
Yeah. But you figure the stress that you're putting on that car, it needs to be like as simplified as possible, right?
Yeah, simplified as possible and as strong as possible. That's why the straight cut gears are a lot stronger than helical. And yeah, the amount of grip and the horsepower going through them, they have to be, extremely strong.
Tell me like about your team. Like, what's the name of the team? Like, what do you like? Just tell me about it.
Lanz Racing is the name of the team. It is my last name, and it's basically what we put together. I have my main guy, Sam. He's very knowledgeable all throughout the car, but we're all very new when it comes to drifting. I've personally been drifting since 2019.
Yeah.
And most of my team some have a little longer, more experience. But it's not like there's guys on the field that are, being on it for 20 years and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we have Sam. We have James, which is my tuner. He's out of Colorado.
Okay.
And then we have Sebas, which is kind of our go-to for everything. Change tires, get the car set up. And now we just got a new guy. He's Venezuelan too, which is pretty cool since there's no Venezuelans in drifting. Andres, same thing. Basically go through everything throughout the car. And we also have Simba, he's very knowledgeable in terms of suspension and mechanics and just throughout, the time. My main guy, Sam, he basically built our 2025 car from scratch. So that's one thing that's very important. Anything that goes wrong with the car, he built it so he knows, okay, it could be this, it could be that.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of things go wrong with cars.
Yeah, right.
Especially, putting them the way that we put them to.
Destroying. Yeah, you're like putting them through the paces.
Yeah.
What about sponsors? You have sponsors now. Who are they? Tell me what they do.
Yeah. So Signova is a tire manufacturer. They're our main sponsor. And they're actually the reason that I'm being able to do Formula Drift. I was given the opportunity to be the distribution for the tires in the U.S. So it's been great that it allows me to not only help my program be in it, but it's also a business that we're running and we're growing it. And there's not really any other driver that is distributing tires themselves. So it's really cool that I get access to basically all the other drivers that are running our tires, and we get a lot of feedback and basically everything that has to do with wear and tire grip and cars that are running. So it's pretty awesome that we get access to all that data, whereas in any other normal driver doesn't really have that.
No, that's super cool. I mean, you really get to understand. And are the tires that you're distributing with your sponsor, are they designed just for drifting, or are they used for other different types of race vehicles?
They were originally designed for racing, and then they've developed to be somewhat more drifting related. And yeah, developing a tire for drifting allows the tire to be so much better. You put the right compound that takes the heat, because that's one of the things that, you're burning these tires up, and if it's not a tire that's designed for it, it's essentially gonna shred up the compound.
Sure.
So we have one of our most popular tires is like 300 thread. We're 8 millimeters thick, which is significantly more than your normal road tire, which allows you to basically have more grip, but also more longevity on the tire. And it's great. One of the reasons that I went with this company and that I went all in and we distribute for them is because it's so good. Like, the tire is so good. The 23 championship that allowed me to get my Formula Drift license was thanks to those tires. We had a big advantage over everybody else that wasn't running a tire that good. So yeah, it's one of those things that, things happen for a reason. And it was a little controversial on how I got to it, because the previous guy that was doing it actually scammed a bunch of people.
Oh, really?
Myself included.
Yeah. He scammed you, yeah.
Yeah, but because of that, now we have the ability to help the community, and at the same time we help each other, which, thanks to them, is the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing.
And where's the tire manufacturer? Are they in the States, or are they out of the States?
Out of state. Most of the tires here are made out of state.
Got it.
They're made in China.
Okay.
Actually, I think every drift tire that is designed for drifting is made in China.
And you're getting the data, which is, this is important for the people that are watching, as far as like other drifters and stuff, like who's getting the best tires. You're actually getting all the feedback, because there's other people who are using the ones that you're distributing, and you're able to get that back to the manufacturer to dial in and make the tweaks that need to be done. Yeah,
definitely. And we do make small changes and adjustments, just because we're noticing things here and there, just to make a better product. It's very dialed in nowadays, but now there's a new tire that is coming out that we've been working on for quite some time, and we developed, because the tires that we've been distributing are mostly for competition. They can be used for fun drifting. Fun drifting is basically, friends go out and they drive at the track, and you want the tires to last the longest. But when you have a very grippy tire, that means you're going to have a very soft compound. And soft compound means it's going to wear out faster. It's just, you can't really have a very grippy tire that lasts forever. It's like it's a balance thing. So the harder you make the compound, the longer that it's going to last. Even though, you play with different things and settings that might allow you to have a grippy tire that lasts longer. But ultimately, it's one thing that, as a company, we were somewhat lacking, since we're more concentrated on competition and winning and having the best grip possible. So I've been working with them. We developed a tire that it's a little harder compound, but it lasts so much longer, just so we can cater to those guys that are not really interested. They don't really care about, the grip, more as in, I want the tire to last longer so I can get more laps and obviously spend less money at the end of the day.
Remind me, the name of the company.
So Signova is the tire manufacturer. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Is that the hat? Signova? Is that what it says?
That is the hat.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Yeah. Cool. That's really cool. So if people are interested in like, reach out to you as far as, hey, we're looking to get tires, they could reach out to you, go to your website or whatever, find you on social media, and then you're able to get them connected because you're the distributor.
Yeah. So obviously we have a team that whenever they reach out, but I'm more than welcome to answer any questions, and it's my day to day. That's what I'm here for. So anything that has to do with racing or drifting tires, it's what the company does.